Hello everybody, nice to meet you. Our little word we got Exodus chapter 34, let's read it together. The Lord said to Moses, "Chisel out stone tablets like the first ones, and I will write on them the word that were on the first tablets which you wrote. Be ready in the morning and then come out on Mount Sinai. Present yourself to me there on the top of the mountain. No one is to come with you or be seen anywhere on the mountain. Not even the flocks and herds may graze in front of the mountain." So Moses chiseled out stone tablets like the first ones and went up the mountain Sinai early in the morning, as the Lord had commanded him, and he carried the 2 stone tablets in his hands. Then the Lord came down in the crowd and stood there with him, and proclaimed his name, the Lord. And his passed in front of Moses proclaimed, the Lord, the compassionate and gracious God, slow to anger, abounding in love and faithfulness, maintain love to thousands, and forgiving wickedness, rebellion and sin, yet he does not leave the guilty unpunished. He punished the children and their children for the sin of the fathers to the 3rd and 4th generation. Moses bowed to the ground at once and worshipped. "O Lord, if I have found favor in your eyes," he said, "then let the Lord go with us. Although this is a stiff-necked people, forgive our wickedness and our sin and take us as your inheritance." Then the Lord said, "I'm making a covenant with you before all your people, and I will do wonders that never before done in any nation in all the world. The people you live among will see how awesome is the work that I, the Lord, will do for you. Obey what I command you today. I will drive out before you the Amorites, Canaanites, Hittites, Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites. Be careful not to make a treaty with those who live in the land where you are going, or there will be a snare among you. Break down their altars, smash their sacred stones, and cut down their Asherah poles. Do not worship any other god, for the Lord, whose name is a jealous God. Be careful not to make a treaty with those who live in the land, for when they prostitute themselves to their gods and sacrifice to them, they will be invited you, and you will eat their sacrifices. And when you choose some of their daughters as wives for your sons, and those daughters prostitute themselves to their gods, they will lead your sons to do the same. Do not make cast idols. Celebrate the feast of unleavened bread. For 7 days eat bread made without yeast, as I command you. Do this at the appointed time in the month of Abib, for in that month you came out of Egypt. The first offspring of every womb belongs to me, including all the firstborn males of your livestock, whether from herds or flock. Redeem the firstborn donkey with a ram, but if you do not redeem it, break its leg. Redeem all your firstborn sons. No one is to appear before me empty-handed. 6 days you shall labor, but on the 7th day you shall rest. Even during the flowering season and harvest you must rest. Celebrate the feast of weeks with the first fruits of the wheat harvest, and the feast of ingathering at the turn of the year. 3 times a year all your men are to appear before the sovereign Lord, the God of Israel. I will drive out nations before you and enlarge your territory, and no one will covet your land when you go up 3 times each year to appear before the Lord your God. Do not offer the blood of a sacrifice to me along with anything containing it, and do not let any of the sacrifice from the festival feast remain until morning. Bring the best of the first fruits of your soil to the house of the Lord your God. Do not cook a young goat in its mother's milk. Then the Lord said to Moses, write down these words, for in accordance with these words I have made the covenant with you and with Israel. Moses was with the Lord 40 days and 40 nights without eating bread or drinking water. And he wrote on the tablet the words of the covenant, the 10 commandments. When Moses came down from Mount Sinai with the 2 tablets of his testimony in his hands, he was not aware that his face was radiant because he had spoken with the Lord. When Aaron and all the Israelites saw Moses, his face was radiant, and they were afraid to come near him. But Moses called to them. So Aaron and all the leaders of the community come back to him, and he spoke to them. Afterward, all the Israelites came near him, and he gave them all the commands the Lord has given him on Mount Sinai. When Moses finished speaking to them, he put a veil over his face. But whenever he entered the Lord's presence to speak with him, he removed the veil until he came out. And when he came out and told the Israelites what he had been commanded, they saw that his face was radiant. Then Moses put the veil back over his face until he went into the speak with the Lord. Exodus chapter 34, verses 1 through 35. Thank you. Hello everybody, nice to meet you. Our lead word of God, Exodus chapter 35. Let's read it together. Moses assembled the whole Israelite community and said to them, these are the things the Lord had commanded you to do. For 6 days, work is to be done, but the 7th day shall be a holy day, a Sabbath of rest to the Lord. Whoever does any work on it must be put to death. Don't light a fire in any of your dwellings on the 7th day. Moses said to the whole Israelite community, this is what the Lord had commanded. From what you have, take an offering for the Lord. Everyone who is willing to bring to the Lord an offering of gold, silver, and bronze, blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, and fine linen, goat hair, ram skins dyed red, and hides of 6 cows, acacia wood, olive oil for the light, spices for the anointing oil and for the fragrance incense, and onyx stones and other gems to be mounted on the ephod and breastpiece. All who are skilled among you are to come and make everything the Lord had commanded. The tabernacle with its tents and its covering, clasps, frames, crossbars, posts, and vases. The ark with its poles and atonement cover and curtain that shielded it. The table with its flowers and all its articles and the bread of the presence. The lampstand that is for light with its accessories, lamps and oil for the light. The altar of incense with its pole, the anointing oil and fragrant incense, the curtain for the doorway at the entrance to the tabernacle, the altar of burnt offerings with its bronze grating, its poles and all its utensils, the bronze basin with its stand, The curtain of the courtyard with its posts and bases, and the curtain for the entrance to the courtyard. The tent pegs for the tabernacle and for the courtyard and their roofs. The own garments worn for ministering in the sanctuary, both the sacred garments for Aaron the priest and the garments for his sons when they serve as priests. And then the whole Israelite community withdrew from Moses' presence. And everyone who was willing and whose heart moved him came and brought an offering to the Lord for the work on the tent of meeting, for all his service and for the sacred garments. All who were willing, men and women alike, came and brought gold jewelry of all kinds, brooches carrying rings, rings, and ornaments. They all presented their gold as a wave offering to the Lord. Everyone who had blue, purple, or scarlet yarn, or fine linen, or goat hair, ram skin dyed red, or hides of sick cows brought them. Those presenting an offering of silver or bronze brought it as an offering to the Lord. And everyone who had a case of wood for any part of the work brought it. Every skilled woman spun with her hands and brought what she had spun, blue, purple, or scarlet yarn, or fine linen. And all the women who were willing had the skill from the goat hair. The leaders brought onyx stones and other gems to be mounted on the ephod and breastpiece. They also brought spices and olive oil for the light, and for the anointing oil, and for the fragrant incense. All the Israelite men and women who were willing brought to the Lord the free will offering for all the work the Lord through Moses had commanded them to do. Then Moses said to Israelites, "See, the Lord had chosen Bezalel, son of Ur, the son of Hur, of the tribe of Judah. And he has filled with him the Spirit of God with skill, ability, and knowledge in all kinds of crafts, to make articles designed for work in gold, silver, and bronze, to cut and set stones, to work in wood, and to engage in all kinds of articles craftsmanship. And he has given both him and Oliab, son of Abishama of the tribe of Dan, the ability to teach others. He has filled them with skill to the all kinds of work as craftsmen, designers, embroiderers in blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, and fine linen, and weavers, all of them master craftsmen and designers." Exodus chapter 35, verses 1 through 35. Thank you. Hello everybody, nice to meet you. Our leader we've got Exodus chapter 36. Let's read it together. So Bezalel, Oholiab, and every skilled person to whom the Lord has given skill, ability to know how to carry out all the work of construction, the sanctuary, to the Lord, just as the Lord has commanded. Then Moses summoned Bezalel and Oholiab and every skilled person to whom the Lord has given ability, and who was willing to come and do the work. They received from the Moses all the things that Israel has throughout to carry out the work of the construction of the sanctuary. And the people continued to bring free will offerings morning after morning. So all the skilled craftsmen who were doing as all the work on the sanctuary of their work, and said to Moses, "The people are bringing more than enough for doing the work the Lord commanded to be done." Then Moses gave the order, and may sent this word throughout the camp: "No man nor woman is to make anything else as the offering for the sanctuary." And so the people were restrained from bringing more, because what they already had was more than enough to do all the work. All the skilled men among the workmen made the tabernacle with 10 curtains of finely twisted linen, and blue, purple, and scarlet yarn with it, cherubim worked into them by skilled craftsmen. All the curtains were the same size, 28 cubits long and 4 cubits wide. They joined 5 of the curtains together and did the same with the other 5. Then they made roofs of blue material along the edge of the end curtain in the one set, and the same was done with the end curtain in the other set. They also made 50 roofs on the one curtain and 50 roofs on the end curtain of the other set, with the roofs opposite each other. Then they made 50 gold clasps and used them to fasten the two sets of the curtain together so that the tabernacle was united. They made the curtain of gold hair for the tent over the tabernacle, 11 altogether. All 11 curtains were all the same size, 30 cubits long and 4 cubits wide. They joined 5 of the curtains into the one set and the other 6 into another set. Then they made 50 roofs along the edge of the end curtain in one set, and also along the edge of the end curtain in another set. Then made 50 bronze clasps to fasten the tent together as a unit. Then they made for the tent a covering of ram skins dyed red, and over that a covering of hides of sea cows. They made light frames of cedar wood for the tabernacle. Each frame was 10 cubits long and cubit and a half wide. With 2 projection sets parallel to each other, they made all the frames of the tabernacle in this way. They made 20 frames for the south side of the tabernacle, and made 40 silver vases to go under them, 2 vases for each frame, 1 under each projection. For the other side, the north side of the tabernacle, they made 20 frames, and 40 silver vases, 2 under each frame. They made 6 frames for the far end, that is the west end of the tabernacle. And 2 frames were made for the corners of the tabernacle at the far end. At these 2 corners, the frames were doubled from the bottom all the way to the top, and fitted into a single ring. Both were made alike. So they were weight frames and 16 silver vases, 2 under each frame. They also made crossbars of cedar wood, 5 for the frames on one side of the tabernacle, 5 for those on the other side, and 5 for the frames on the west at the far end of the tabernacle. They made the center crossbar so that it is extended from end to end at the middle of the frames. They overlaid the frames with gold and made gold rings to hold the crossbars. They also overlaid the crossbars with gold. They made the curtain of blue, purple, and scarlet and fine twisted linen, with cherubim worked into it by a skilled craftsman. They made 4 posts of the cedar wood for it and overlaid with them the gold. They made gold hooks for them and cast their 4 silver vases. For the entrance of the tent, they made the curtain of blue, purple, and scarlet and fine twisted linen, the work of the embroiderer. And they made 5 posts with hooks for them. They overlaid the tops of the posts and their bands of gold and made their 5 vases of bronze. Exodus chapter 36, verses 1 through 38. Thank you.